Switch the dial, pull up a chair. Luke's got a mic and too much air. From headlines wild to late night bits, he'll say it all, and none of it sticks.
What's up, nerds? Welcome back to another video. You are on WLGW 89.7 FM Groundwalker Radio. This is the Luke Groundwalker Show. I am your host, Luke Groundwalker. Thank you for tuning in and stopping by. Today's video is going to be a rather spicy one because on my little document here, we've got Andrew Tate, Dr. Disrespect, Elon Musk, and the Epstein cover-up. So we've got a few interesting topics today. And now to hop right into it, the reason I want to talk about Andrew Tate was because of his latest podcast that he did with Bonnie Blue. And if you don't know who Bonnie Blue is, she is the woman who had the nonstop marathon with whoever wanted to show up to her address. I believe it was 1,057. Don't quote me on it. It was 1,000 or over 1,000 guys that showed up. And Andrew Tate is notorious for being a misogynist, for being an anti-women person, for being, a alt-right man figure. If you don't know who Andrew Tate is, I'm not really positive how to describe him, because the reason I'm talking about this is because this is exactly the video that you would think would be oil and water. You would think that you would have Andrew Tate, the misogynist, sexist, crazy man first person, and then Bonnie Blue, the epitome of feminism, women power, using the power of the pussy through OnlyFans, through all of this to make, millions of dollars, to be her own woman, to be the tagline from the podcast that was circling around was Andrew Tate going, "This is the result of feminism. Bonnie is the ultimate feminist," or somewhere along those lines, right? And so I saw this and I was like, this should be an interesting one. I mean, holy crap. I mean, who would have thought that we really do live in the dankest timeline, that we've got this guy that's able to get these two people together to sit down and talk about everything in the planet. And I don't want to spoil it too crazily. I mean, I am going to talk about things that they talk about. However, I'll try to keep it light and try and keep the opinions down a little bit, or the opinions that they talked about. I would just highly suggest that you go watch it. You go listen to it in the background. If you've got, this was a 2-hour-long podcast. I mean, this was not some 45-minute, an hour 15 on that. This was 2 hours and I believe 20 minutes long. Don't get me wrong, a little bit of filler in there, so a little bit of pumped up runtime. However, I really do think that this is an important video for people to watch, whether or not you agree, disagree, whether you're a male, whether you're a female. Again, link to everything is in the description below. And the reason I say that you should watch this is because you've got people on the extremes of both sides, or at least what I would consider the extremes. I mean, you've got someone who has made hundreds or tens, possibly hundreds of millions of dollars off of preying on men in a mental way, or maybe not preying, but definitely abusing the fact that the internet is filled with mostly young men. The internet is driven by people who, advertisers, people that are looking for ways. I mean, right now, the vast majority of the advertising on the internet, and this is a little bit biased towards me, obviously. I'm a guy, I get tailored commercials. However, I do watch some of the mainstream, commercials, right? And if it's not advertised the miracle pill towards old people, if it's not advertised some sort of pharmaceutical, then it's advertised some sort of product for some sort of product that makes that you feel lacking in some aspect of your life, and here is the drug, the product, the whatever that will cover that lacking aspect of your life. And so you've got Andrew Tate, which preys on that, not preys on it, not in a malicious sense, meaning preying on it, meaning that he knows this is what they are doing to make money. So he offers an alternative to that because they already have, they meaning whatever corporations, right, have identified that market. So he says, oh, well, I'm just going to run parallel to that market and offer the exact same solution, or target that exact same problem and offer a solution to it. And I'll just be, another lane over one way or the other. And Bonnie Blue does an extremely similar thing, preys on men, preys on young men, or at least their desire to solve whatever inadequacy that they have, right? Through, OnlyFans, through the power of the pussy. And so both of these people have, even though they are on opposite sides, opposite sexes, they surprisingly have very similar, their ideas line up. And so something that, a lot of the commenters say is, oh, well, Andrew's trolling. Andrew's so good at lying. Andrew's so good at playing to what these people think. And I think that's reading into it a little bit too much. I think that's taking something that's not there. I mean, are there jokes that he makes, sarcastic-esque jokes in certain situations? Yes. However, I think the majority of that podcast is him being straight up, him being fucking honest. And it's funny how the podcast host, whose name is Rob, this is the Rob's podcast, he ends up getting it flipped. His podcast gets flipped against him by both of these people. I'm not sure if this was his exact desire for both of them to kind of, cross and have opposite opinions. However, Bonnie and Andrew kind of line up on a vast majority of things, and they both get turned against Rob. It's like, oh, Rob, do you hate women? Oh, Rob, sounds like you're, discriminatory. Sounds that you're discriminating. Sounds like you have, all these problematic opinions, Rob. You better watch out before the Matrix comes for you. You better watch out before women come for you, And it's just, to me, it was an incredibly interesting podcast, and one that I highly suggest people watch, because I had a very fun time listening to it. Made me laugh a whole bunch, made me think about a whole bunch of different things. And again, you can think about Andrew Tate in the background and his desires, and if he was trolling or whatever, hey, you could think about that in the background. I ain't going to stop you. For me, I take when people talk about shit and they say it up front, they don't sound sarcastic, they don't sound like they're talking about anything. They say, this is my opinion. I take it that is their opinion. Next up is Dr. Disrespect. And the reason we're talking about Dr. Disrespect is because he, very similarly to Andrew Tate, is a male figure that goes against the current idea of what men should be. Men should no longer be masculine. Men should no longer be aggressive. Men should no longer have these traditional values, these traditional aspects of the masculine culture, because they go against the new globalist agenda. And I mean globalist not in like that's like a Donald Trump buzzword, or that's an alt-right buzzword. I mean, that's, for me, a technical definition. I mean, I was talking to someone in the sauna who that was one of the things. He was a super liberal. He said himself he hates Donald Trump. He was a super liberal guy. And that was one of the things that he said is, we now live in a globalist world. We now live in a world where it's no longer you, me, and you. It's now everybody, right? And so we need to change men. Men need to change, because it's no longer, those values are outdated. Those values no longer fit in the equation. And Dr. Disrespect, it's the way that his masculine energy is focused to, for people that don't know, to, just talk about it, to peel behind the curtain as someone who has been part of the community for 6-7 years now. The idea of VSM, violence, speed, and momentum, Dr. Disrespect's brand, his saying, everything about him, right, is that it's violence, speed, and momentum towards life, towards the things that you do. It's not like, yes, you are bringing the VSM, the violence, speed, and momentum, to video games. Yes, you want to have a game where you can run around, sprint, jump, crouch, slide, ADS, look down the sights, and, boom, snipe. You want to be able to have this fluid momentum. You want to bring that to video games. However, it's not just video games. It's bringing it to life. You are bringing a proactive change to your own life. You're not just sitting around waiting for things to happen to you. You're not being complacent. You're not complaining about things in your life. You are taking an active role towards your life. You are running towards your goals. You are not sitting around at home. You are bringing that proactive change. You are being the best version of yourself that you can be. He is a positive role model and one that does not fit in any of these narratives that they have brought about. And has he made mistakes? Obviously, yes, he's made mistakes. We are human beings. That is a point that he emphasizes, and I believe that that is one of the reasons why he has been targeted by so many people from that have this globalist agenda, that have these liberal values, these progressive values. For them, you are your last mistake. You cannot move past that. You are just the last mistake you've made, period. Whereas Dr. Disrespect understands that people make mistakes, understand that life is hard, and it is all about how you adapt, how you move forward, what changes you make, different things along those lines. And that is why he's targeted so heavily, because it's a problem for people to not, just like Me Too, just like the whole cancellation movement. That's, for me, at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's that it's just a way to keep control over people. It's a way to remind people that, I am better than you. You need to listen to me because you've made these mistakes and we're not going to let you forget, and you need to be reminded of them, and you need to do what we say because you are not capable because of all these mistakes you've made. Whereas Dr. Disrespect says that, no, these mistakes are part of life. These mistakes are what define you. The way that you change yourself, the way that you approach life after making mistakes, that's what defines you, not the mistakes that you've made. And again, just very similar to Andrew Tate, he targets a more mature, quote unquote, audience. Yes, there are some younger people in his chat. However, the majority of his chat is over the age of 15, 16, 17, 18. They're closer to young adults who are at points in their life where they are going to be the upcoming voting bloc. They're going to be the upcoming people in power. And people understand, whether they like him or hate him, that he streams to 20, 25,000 people. He sells out all of his merch. He sells out all of the things that he produces. He is still succeeding despite all of these people with these opinions that, oh, he should be canceled. He should not be able to do anything on the internet. We should have him removed from the internet because he's dangerous. He's problematic. And why do all of these people still listen to him? So just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that, right? Next up, we've got Elon Musk and the New America Party, right? And Elon Musk sort of in general, but we're going to try and tailor it to the America Party. So Elon Musk has now been kicked out of the White House. I genuinely didn't think it would happen so soon, and I'm surprised that Elon Musk didn't take more heat. I mean, maybe he's taking a little bit more heat from Trump now, but he didn't get kicked out because of one specific thing. He got kicked out, and then these other things happened with him calling out Donald Trump on the Epstein files, with him calling out Donald Trump's big beautiful bill, and him calling out the way that politics work. I mean, these things happened after he was done in the White House, right? And I genuinely expected it to have some big blow up, and then Elon Musk to take the fall, and Trump to say, oh, well, it's not my fault, it's Elon Musk's fault. And look, we kicked him out and now we're good. Whereas it's more now that they are fighting currently. And the reason I wanted to include Elon Musk in this is because he is an extremely morally driven person, right? However, the way that his moral compass is, the control over it, a compass is controlled by traditional compasses are controlled by the magnetic waves of the earth. The earth spins, it's got a hot molten it's a big battery, generates all this electricity. When it spins, the electricity forms waves around the planet, and the compass picks up those waves and points in whatever direction, right? For Elon Musk in this metaphor, his axis of the earth, which causes the waves, which are aligned in a certain direction, right? It just spins at various different, angles based on whatever the day seems to go. And don't get me wrong, he's got many values that I agree with. He's got many aspects of his, life, of his opinions that I agree with. However, something that I can't look past, and something that people need to understand, as opposed to someone like Dr. Disrespect, who has a very straightforward moral compass and something that he always brings it back to. I mean, VSM has been his moniker for probably a decade now. Elon Musk doesn't have some saying that he keeps bringing himself to. He doesn't have a single guiding light that is what he's always coming back to. In the America Party, while it's something that I agree with, it makes me think of the Project 2025 conversations that I had on my own channel. And just to sum up the points of those conversations, was essentially that Project 2025 was designed to incorporate many of the talking points of Donald Trump, right? Because people say like, oh, Donald Trump, Project 2025, it's like this is the fascist manifesto and Donald Trump is a fascist and all of this stuff, where Donald Trump had nothing to do with Project 2025. Maybe some of his supporters, maybe some of the people that wrote this manifesto, right, we'll call it, they like Donald Trump and they have similar ideas to him. However, he had nothing to do with it. But it was designed so that it would be easy to adopt, that it would have many of the same tenets. And what is Donald Trump going to do about that? Is he going to talk to them and say, hey, redact this stuff because it's got too many of talking points similar to what I talk about, and I don't want to be associated with you people? I mean, how did he even know about it? He would have to have had someone on the inside to then bring it up to him. It's like, hey, these guys are writing this document, and it sounds like a lot of stuff that you're going to talk about in the future, so you might want to address this now. I mean, it's ridiculous. The amount of bullshitting and the amount of hoops that these people have to jump through, it's just ridiculous. And it's in this case with Elon Musk, we are seeing him line these things up in real time. We don't need to have someone on the inside to tell us Project 2025 is coming, and it's being designed to sound like what Donald Trump's talking points are going to be, so that, you know, it gets more popular because it lines up like that. I mean, Elon Musk is doing that for us. He's talking about all of these different things out in the open. He's talking about, oh, this big beautiful bill that has all of this bullshit and all of this pork in it, everything. I mean, like, why don't we just have a bill for healthcare? Why don't we just have a bill for the economy? Why don't we just have a bill for our military? Why does it all have to be clumped into one big thing? Why do we have to have, why are we following these corporate lobbyists who control so much? Why don't we have our own party that brings different aspects of this to the board? And it's interesting that he's doing this all just live on Twitter. And, you know, people are calling him out, how he's going to destroy America, how he's going to destroy our political system, you know, where for me, I don't see that exactly as the worst thing on the planet, because we, again, I mean, these are huge problems. I mean, we've got a 1,000-page bill that's brought down to a 980-something page bill, and it's got so much shit in it, and it's brought to the floor a week before, a week and a half before, and how many people can read it? And we've got AI now that can help us go through all this stuff, but are we going to really now rely on AI to help shape our government moving forward? I mean, there's so many different things, and then all of that is brought to us by a guy who seemingly just changes up his moral consciousness on just whatever. It's some of it's good, obviously, but on some of it on the other end, it's like he's just doing this because he just wants to be talked about more. He just wants to be a cool kid. He just wants to be in the conversation, and he might not realize it himself. He might think that he is doing it for the betterment of the country. But at the same time, when you look about his actions in the past and how he continues to act, that's just not, his actions are to the opposite. So that's kind of just the Elon Musk little rant stuff, right? And the final thing we're going to talk about is the Epstein cover-up, because holy shit. I mean, now we're getting possibly a redacted list today, possibly. We'll see how that goes, right? I have no idea how this is all going to play out. But I have talked about in the past multiple times, and will continue to talk about the fact that this is all a distraction from some crazier, ridiculous, who knows what's going on in the background, that, you know, whether it's aliens, whether it's the end of the world, whether it's us having done too much damage to our DNA, whether who knows what the hell is the crazy background, you know, nightmare that they don't want us as regular human people to know about. But that is all this is. This is all just a distraction so that we as a human race don't think about what is coming that is going to end all life on Earth. For example, what if, and again, just throwing things out there, right? What if the end result of humanity, like Joe Rogan says, is just to create God 2.0, aka AI, send it back out into the universe, and it's going to live infinitely longer than us? The human race is either going to kill itself off, is either going to die of natural causes because we've damaged our DNA too much from all of the bullshit we're consuming, from all of the drugs we're taking. The sun is going to take it, you know, suck us all up, consume us. There's some sort of asteroid coming that's going to kill us all. Some ridiculous something. You know, maybe we've all gone too far past the point of microplastics that there is no way to reverse the damage to our bodies, and the only way that we can move forward is to kill everybody off via vaccines, kill everybody off via slow burning stuff in the air. Which, it's funny, in one of my vlogs from this last winter, I talked to guys, PhD doctors, who about chemtrails, and they thought I was just some crazy Republican kid with nothing, no idea of anything, right? And now, fast forward 6 months or so, we just now have the government releasing documentation saying that yes, they are spraying things into the atmosphere. It's not just the vaporization of water in the atmosphere by these planes with these jets that are causing it. No, they are actually spraying things into the atmosphere, right? So it's who knows what the cause is, but the human race is coming to an end. There is only a certain amount of people, the extremely wealthy, this upper class, that is going to be able to survive. And so we need to continue distracting the plebeians for as long as possible, because if they release what's happening with the Epstein cover-up, if they release it, then the next thing that's going to happen is that the human being, us, the poor people, are going to come after the rich people, right? And so this is all just a game, all just a distraction. And my personal opinion is that these motherfuckers are all guilty. I mean, they are all fucking guilty. And they know, these royalty classes, they know that if they get caught, they will be ousted. They will get all of their... and they will have everything taken away from them. And when everything's taken away, they essentially, when the curtain's pulled up and everybody realizes that it's just one guy with an animatronic head or a big, to use the Wizard of Oz, it's just a little guy operating this huge, big scheme, people are going to say, wait a second, why are we dealing with this, or why are we letting this guy pull the strings when it turns out that we've got, it turns out that the reason everybody's a pedophile, the reason that, hey, if we're going to go down let's just talk about adrenochrome, right? Like the miracle drug, which is like sacrificing people who are like close to, adrenochrome, I think, that something is funny like MGK, there was a clip where it's like, oh, how does MGK stay so young? How does he do all of this? He doesn't eat. And he's like, oh, blood sacrifices. It's like, oh, okay, so that stuff's not bullshit. But it turns out you need to have hundreds of millions of dollars to be able to, I think another movie metaphor I'll throw at you is the Channing Tatum, Jessica Alba movie, or no, is it Jessica Alba, the one who plays Meg in Family Guy? But the Channing Tatum and Meg movie, where it turns out that you can blow up or distill entire planets into this juice which makes you live forever, right? And that's what all the royalty of the universe does, is all they do is now they're in this big racket to sacrifice entire planets to make this infinity juice. And that's how they get, hundreds of gajillions of millions of dollars. What if it turns out that that's what the case is? All of these people are stupid, filthy fucking rich because they have the ability to make this live forever juice, or this juice that's going to be able to reverse the damage done by microplastics and vaccines and all this bullshit. And now it's like, oh, it turns out that Epstein was the middleman that was selling all these rich people all these drugs. And it's like, okay, yes, maybe all these people were pedophiles, but what about that magic juice that's going to help save the human race that you guys are hoarding so that when the giant asteroid comes or aliens come back, that now you're not going to be, you guys are the ones that are going to live? It's like, oh, what the fuck? So that is today's episode. A whole lot of shit going on, and this is unbelievable. What kind of fucking, what timeline are we fucking living on? Holy shit. Anyway, I have been Luke Groundwalker. This has been the Luke Groundwalker Show on WLGW 89.7 FM Groundwalker Radio. Thank you so much for watching, tuning in. I will see you in the next episode. Smoke grass, eat ass, be excellent to each other. Deuces.